Hello everyone, I'm Jun. I repair watches as a hobby and I appreciate you watching them. Today, I'm working on this Seiko from the 1960s. It's not running and needs a repair and full service. Let's dive in. During the 1960s, automatic watches became mainstream. Seiko introduced the Seikomatic-R line for the Japanese domestic market with a wide range of models. This Seikomatic-R is one of them. At that time, Seiko developed several automatic movements. This one is the Seiko 840 movement. It is developed at the time. Unlike many Seiko movements, this one doesn't use the famous magic lever system. If you have watched Seiko restoration videos, you have probably heard of it. It's a clever, efficient winding mechanism developed by Seiko. But this movement uses a more traditional winding system instead. We will look at the details later. First, let's disassemble the dial side. The dial side features a classic Seiko layout. Disassembly should be straightforward. But this time it wasn't. I found a wheel sitting oddly on a plate. This one. That's not normal. And since it was my first time working on this movement, I wasn't sure how it was supposed to be positioned. Long story short, it's broken. I will fix it later. This is a bit embarrassing, honestly, but I didn't realize it was broken, so I assembled everything and tried setting the time and date. Of course, it didn't work. And I realized it is broken. That's a true story. By the way, this movement doesn't support manual winding. Seiko reserved that feature for their higher-end models to distinguish premium watches from standard ones. Still, even as a standard class movement, the quality is impressive. To me, it's hard to believe that this is a 60-year-old watch. Now back to the wheel side. I'm removing the automatic winding components. This movement supports bidirectional winding, allowing efficient mainspring winding without manual input. It's also tightly integrated with the base movement to keep the profile slim. The automatic winding rotor can be placed directly on the barrel bridge. That's likely why Seiko skipped the magic lever system on this movement. This model was designed to be thin with a shallow case back so that it can sit low on the wrist. It was ideal for weekday business wear in Japan at the time. Take another look on the video. I'm disassembling the wheel train. Most parts come out easily, except for a tiny pinion fixed to the center bridge with a C-clip. Can you see it? This one. I didn't capture the removal on camera, but I actually damaged the C-clip trying to take it out. I wasn't sure of the proper method. Maybe the pinion can be pulled without removing the clip. But if you know, please share in the comments. Disassembly complete. Overall, the movement looks great for its age. I think it was serviced relatively recently. Seiko uses thick black grease in the mainspring barrel, but this one was clean. This movement has more jewels than typical standard movements. Some are used to cover pivots, to keep dust out, and keep oil in. Before cleaning, we need to remove those covers. I unlocked the spring to access the jewel. We don't need to remove the spring entirely. Now, I lift the cover using Rodico. Then I reset the spring and repeat the process for the other 3 cover jewels. While removing the case bezel for deep cleaning, I found another issue. The glass is cracked. Maybe the previous owner dropped it, damaging the glass, knocking off the hands, and breaking the movement. Cleaning takes time. I will do a pre-clean by hand, then use watch cleaning solution, rinse twice with water and IPA, and dry thoroughly. I group parts together to avoid confusion while cleaning. For pre-cleaning, I reuse IPA from a previous final rinse. Watch cleaning solution is pricey but reusable unless it gets too dirty. I use a metal basket for water rinsing and IPA for the final rinse. Can you see bubbles coming up? They help to remove dirt and water from the parts. After cleaning, I installed the cover gels. Each is just 1 millimeter wide. I locked it back with a spring. And I used an automatic oiler to lubricate it. It's too small to oil it manually. Let's assemble the movement. This step requires extreme care. I've broken many movements due to careless assembly. Each part must go in the correct spot in the right order. It's impossible to memorize everything. Taking photos or recording a disassembly video will be a great help. Also, watch out for parts orientation. Tiny pinions like these can be installed upside down, causing damage. Needless to say, these wheels must mesh properly. So if they don't, do double check. You may have the wrong wheel or incorrect order. Installing the bridge is challenging. All pivots must sit into jewels simultaneously. Never force anything. Pivots are extremely fragile. It's easy to explain but hard to execute. Mistakes happen. Check everything multiple times before tightening screws. Normally, I install the pallet fork and the balance wheel after the manual winding system. But since this movement lacks it, so I installed them earlier. I wind the mainspring by rotating the ground wheel. Let's see how it runs. It's running strong. Still, we need to lubricate the balance gel. So I polished the surface, oiled the center, and reinstalled it. Seiko calls this shock protection system DiaShock. It helps protect the balance axis from impact. It saves this watch from a disaster of dropping, actually. Now I've flipped the movement to assemble the dial side. I'm working on the time setting mechanism. Although this movement lacks manual winding, the base plate has a slot for a winding pinion. After researching, I found a variant of this movement that includes manual winding. The difference is a hue, the presence of the pinion, shape of the clutch, and barrel bridge. Here is a broken part from the date quickset. I reassembled it and swaged the pieces together. It's solid now, and it won't break again. Installing the date quickset is tricky, especially the spring. I covered it with a guard plate to prevent it from flying off. Then set it in place. Seiko didn't use any plastic in this movement. Not even in the calendar system. It's a high quality movement, in my opinion. Seikomatic is a beloved vintage watch among Japanese watch tinkerers like me. Because it was mass-produced, so you can still find good examples for around 1,000,000 yen, sorry, 10,000 Japanese yen, less than 100 US dollar. A broken one like mine costs half that. It's great for practice. Also worth noting, the dial, hands, and case are great. I mean, this Seikomatic-R has a larger case than most Seikos. It's about 38mm with a 19mm bracelet. It is big for the 1960s, but standard today. The dial and hands has a classic Seiko design. It looks like an old man, or maybe it's for one. That's fair. This is an ancestor of the modern Seiko. But it has a nice aged look. Alright, we are nearly finished. In the end, I decided to leave the cracked glass as it is. Replacing it is usually straightforward if you are okay with generic parts. But I prefer to use original components whenever possible. And for Seiko, that means genuine Seiko parts. Even here in Japan, finding them takes a bit of luck. So for now, I will wait for that time. Alright, here is the finished watch. I didn't polish the case, so the wear and tear is still visible. But hey, an old gentleman doesn't need cosmetic surgery. Those marks are part of its story. The sunburst dial still shines, and the hands and indexes are crafted with timeless beauty. That's enough. Okay, that's about it. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm already working on another piece, so I will see you again soon. Until then, take care.